I think it's about time we talked about the Halloween Ends trailer. How's it going, guys? As always, my name is Jimmy Champane, and if you like monsters, slashers, any movie shot during, set during, or inspired by the 1980s, this is the channel for you. Before I jump into it, I know it's been a minute since I made a video here on the channel, but if you guys didn't know, I have two other channels. PS Ready, it's all about PlayStation, and Deck Ready, it's all about my new favorite gaming device, the Steam Deck. Those are basically my day job, and that combined with the fact that after Texas Chainsaw Massacre's reboot came out and disappointed a lot of people, there just really wasn't that much like horror or even Halloween in general news going on. So I decided I'd take a break, I'd recenter, let the fandom hype build up just a little bit more. And now that we have some news, I figured it'd be a good time to make a video. And also all the people bugging me on Twitter and Instagram, they really helped a lot too. So I appreciate that. And just so I set some expectations here, this is going to be a pretty jam-packed episode of Halloween news. And I even have an exclusive reveal about the mask in Halloween Ends for you, because I have seen at least one of the masks that were used in the movie. So if that sounds good to you and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and set your notifications to all. So the first thing we have to talk about is the fact that Jason Blum has officially seen Halloween Ends. Yep, he tweeted out, and guess what? I actually saw Halloween Ends last night on May 19th. I tried to get us some info. I responded, what did you think? And he did not answer. Despite the fact that I got quite a few likes on that tweet, he had nothing to say. I feel like that was a free marketing opportunity for you, Jason Blum, but next time you'll get me on the reply, right? All jokes aside, that was a sign to me that the marketing is about to start for this movie, and just considering the fact that Halloween Kills, when the marketing actually started to pick up for that movie, they rigidly adhered to the same schedule that they used for Halloween 2018. I think it's gonna go pretty much the same with Halloween Ends. We'll get a teaser in around June or July. They'll have something at Comic-Con for us, maybe a clip, maybe the full trailer, and then in August and September, they'll go full marketing mode by spoiling the entire movie, including the ending before it comes out, because that is just the universal way. I'm not gonna mess around. A lot is riding on Halloween Ends, and even more arguably is riding on it now that we know how divisive Halloween Kills ended up being for fans. I personally really like Halloween Kills. I've seen it a few times. The best way I can put it without getting too deep into it, because I want to do a full video in the future, is that it has all of the best elements of Halloween and it has all of the worst elements of Halloween. You know, like all the stuff we didn't like about the later sequels is kind of included in Halloween Kills. But I will say, leading up to that movie, when they were casting everyone and all of these characters like Tommy Doyle, Marion Chambers, Sheriff Brackett, Lindsay Wallace, they were all being announced as coming back to the movie. I mentioned it so many times in videos and people got so mad, but basically I was like, having all of these cameo characters coming back could make it feel like Halloween the ride, and I feel like that's exactly what happened. I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would, but yeah, that's what happened. It felt like a Halloween ride and less like a true slasher horror movie. It was never really scary. It was just cool seeing Michael Myers killing all these people. You know what I mean? And then on top of all of that, this movie has to be a fitting end to the franchise, like a fitting end to Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, that timeline. It has to be a fitting end to Laurie Strode, because I feel like after this movie, we are never going to see her come back. And just because it's Halloween, it's a franchise, there's no way it's going to end. This has to also be able to leave the door open for Michael Myers to come back. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen for this movie to go right. I still have a lot of faith in David Gordon Green, and I just personally think he's gonna pull it off. And thankfully, since this movie was rigidly adhering to the same schedule as Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018, some footage, aka the first trailer, was shown during CinemaCon. It's the first teaser. I called it a trailer. Let's just, you know what it is, right? You've done it twice before. So basically it starts out with some voiceover saying 44 years ago, the face of fear was born. We've got some footage from John Carpenter's Halloween. There's a montage showing the victims of Michael Myers on Halloween night 1978 and 2018, because Halloween Kills was the same night as Halloween 2018. There's some more voiceover that says every scream, every scare, every slash has led to this. And in the new footage, Laurie breathes heavily as she hides in a dark closet, obviously reminiscent of Halloween 1978. Then Michael Myers is stalking in a kitchen with a butcher knife, and Laurie lunges at him, slashing at him, and it turns out to be a brutal fight. Michael grabs Laurie's hair and slams slams her face first into a glass cabinet, Laurie grips her knife and stabs it into Michael's hand. Now I'm just willing to bet that this is from the beginning of the movie because Universal for some reason doesn't really spoil a lot in that first teaser. I'm willing to bet this is an encounter that Laurie has with him. She's ready for him, but I don't think either character is going to die in this fight. Hell, it could be right after Halloween Kills before Michael Myers goes dormant, because we know that Halloween Ends is taking place in Halloween 2022 and the movie's working title is Cave Dweller. So I think what's going to happen is Michael Myers is going to charge up for a few years and come back swinging. Either way, without seeing the footage, it's hard to judge, but this sounds really cool. It seems like they got all the bombastic action style killing out in Halloween Kills, and now they're going to go back to the stalking like terror that we had in 1978 and to some extent Halloween 2018. I know that's going to make a lot of fans happy, myself included, because I like when they mix it up between movies. I don't want to see the same thing each time, you know what I mean? The general reaction to this footage seemed to be positive, even from people who didn't really like Halloween Kills. They were like, oh, this is recalibrating back to what I liked in 2018, so that's good to hear as well. I'm excited to see it. Again, I think it'll probably come in the next couple weeks, so we hopefully won't have to wait too long. And I know this news is kind of old at this point. I just wanted you to hear my reaction to it because I didn't make a video about it when it happened. Alright, so next up we have to talk about the mask that Michael wears in this movie. There have been so many different rumors about this mask coming out from so many different places. One of the bigger ones I saw being spread around is that the mask is going to be stitched together like Leatherface's mask was supposed to be in the reboot. It ended up just being the face of the lady who was taking care of him. It wasn't even stitched together. He literally just cut it off and put it on his head. But yeah, people were saying that it was going to be a stitched together mask. I thought that might be kind of cool. It just seemed like something that could be taken way too far, and I didn't think it was actually going to happen. Then we heard some rumors that it was going to be a tattered mask. It was going to be shredded like what we saw in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That is just flat out not at all what I would want to see in Halloween Ends. James Drew Courtney is a great looking guy. This is nothing against him. I just don't want to see Michael Myers' face as much as we did in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It's pretty much as simple as that. I think it takes away from the character. But based on what I've seen, and I hate when people do this on YouTube so much, but I have a source and I trust them implicitly. Like, I put 100% trust on them. I have seen a photograph of a mask that was used in Halloween Ends. Neither of those rumors are even remotely true. We are not, at least in some part of Halloween Ends, going to see a tattered mask or a stitched together mask. I was assuming at first the image of the mask I saw was from the beginning of the movie, but after taking another look at it, I'm like pretty positive it's the mask that's going to be worn after the time jump, so the 2022 version of the mask. And it's pretty much exactly the same as the mask in Halloween Kills. It's obviously hard to tell without having like a Trick or Treat Studios version in hand, but to me it looks like the exact same mold. It's not any more melted or tattered or anything like that. It basically looks like how the mask looked at the end of Halloween Kills, but this time it's going to be dirtier, it's going to be darker on the burn side of the mask, and there's going to be a whole lot less white. The mask itself is still white. It's obviously burned on one side like we saw in Halloween Kills, but the white parts are just dirtier and darker. So it's not that big of a departure. It's just enough so that they can sell a Trick or Treat Studios Halloween Ends mask that's like slightly different from what we've seen in Halloween Kills. And I think that's great. I don't want them to change it too much. I don't want it to be like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I don't want a stitched together mask because that just takes it a little too over the top for me. If they're gonna do anything, I would just like Karen's dried blood on it or something. That would be pretty cool. It wasn't on the mask when I saw it, but that's as far as I would like them to take it. It still has the same amount of hair from Halloween Kills, and that's fine. Again, that mask was a lot more similar to the one in 1978, of course, because they had the flashback. They basically took the Kills mask, they painted it white, they restored it, they made it look like the mask in Halloween 1978, and you had that parody between the two. It doesn't look exactly like the 2018 mask, which is a little smaller, it's a little more angular, it's a little meaner, and honestly it looks a little older. This one is like the perfect happy middle ground, and the Halloween Ends mask is just an evolution of that. It looks like the same shape, it looks like the 78 mask, but aged and burned on one side and a little dirtier than we saw it before. So depending on how you feel, depending on how big of a departure you wanted, now you know what you're going to see. I'm gonna go ahead and hazard a guess that this is the main mask from the movie, but again, that wasn't confirmed to me when this mask was shared with me. And unfortunately, I know this is gonna make some people mad, but the person who shared the picture with me did it under the pretense that I like promise not to share it. I trust the person, I don't want to burn a bridge, and I don't feel right sharing it. So you'll see it soon enough though when the trailer drops, and yeah, I'm pretty confident that the mask is going to be how I described it. And the last news story I have for you guys today is about the ending of Halloween Ends, because Nick Castle just did an interview and he said some pretty interesting stuff. He basically confirmed that James Jude Courtney is playing Michael Myers for pretty much this entire movie, which is great in my opinion. I think he's like the perfect modern Michael Myers. I don't need it split between two different people unless we're going to see flashbacks. But then on top of that, he said, I think there might be more because of all the success of this trilogy, but Green will have a very surprising storyline and ending for everyone. It's absolutely something I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's going to unroll. Now for me personally, that's what I was getting at a little earlier when I said I don't want them to push it super far so it's just crazy and no one could have ever guessed it. I want it to be original and well written, and the way Castle was talking about it, it feels original and well written to me. Of course, we won't know until we see the actual movie, and I hope none of it leaks. But yeah, the thing I latched onto here, honestly, was the fact that he said he thinks they're going to do more. Obviously, they're going to want to do more if this movie performs well at the box office. Halloween is more profitable than it's ever been right now. It's more profitable than anyone I think ever expected it to be. So the idea of this being an ending of the franchise just doesn't make sense because we know how Hollywood operates. I'd be fine if it's an ending for Laurie Strode and then we moved on and focused on Allison maybe going forward as the protagonist. That would be awesome. There's so many different ways they could take this. I don't think, unfortunately, David Gordon Green will be coming back. He's moving on and doing his Exorcist series of movies. We've also heard he's doing a Hellraiser reboot, so he's busy doing his own stuff. I think it would be a cool opportunity to bring in a new director and give us their own take on Halloween and Michael Myers and everything we have, but I would like them to stick with the timeline they've established, as long as it doesn't end with Michael Myers and Laurie Strode being vaporized and turned into dust, because then nothing can happen going forward. And I've also heard a lot of rumors, like a ton of rumors about a video game happening, like to the point where there's so much smoke I can basically feel the heat of the fire right around the corner on my skin. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few years we start seeing some hype ramping up about a Halloween video game. And it's not going to be from Gun Media from what I've heard. It's going to be from someone else. The only thing I'm absolutely positive on when it comes to Halloween Ends is that I do not want this movie to simultaneously release on Peacock. We saw how big of a mistake that was with Halloween Kills. It didn't even do what they wanted it to do, which is drive subscriptions to that streaming service. People still went and saw it in theaters, and it still made a lot of money despite everything in the world, the bad word I can't say, going on. People still turned up in theaters for Halloween Kills, and I think they will do it for Halloween Ends. There is virtually no reason to release that movie on Peacock at the same time, and no one is going to convince me otherwise.